Okay, so welcome back to Gumaree's Coins and Banknotes, and in today's video we have some coins from Lesotho. So this is the first time I've actually made a video about the coins of this country. I have made quite a lot of videos, or a few, about the coins of Swaziland, because the Swazi coins are actually a lot easier to get than the coins of Lesotho. And if you're into African countries, like I'm pretty interested in these countries. The easier coins to get are coins of Botswana, and I'll make a separate video on these. Okay, so there have been two primary series of the coins of Lesotho. So we have the larger coins, which were first issued in 1979, and then from 1996 they issued the second series. These smaller, the centi coins, are actually from 1998. They first issued the smaller coins. The first coin they issued was the 2 and the 5 Maloti. So they were issued in 96. And they circulated alongside these coins before these were reduced. Okay, so the first series consists of these 7 coins. So we have the brass 1 centi. So there's different plurals in the actual Bantu language. So we have the centi, and we have 5 the centi. Then we have 10, 25, 50 the centi, and the 1 loti. And as you can see, the plural for loti is ma loti. So obviously the 2, or doubling, is at the front. So, and the same with here, centi, and then li centi. So obviously indicates it's more than 1. So that's very interesting. So these are all copper nickel, and these were not similar in size to South African coins, because at the time period South African coins were legal tender in circulation, and like Botswana, so they had the 1 puller, and also the, do I have Swaziland, maybe 50 cents. As you can see, coin sizes are actually different. They don't correspond with each other's currency. 50 Febi, 50 cents. And as you can see, they're all different denominations, although the South African coins did circulate at the same time and have the same value, which they currently do. The South African currency is still legal tender in Swaziland and Lesotho. So the exchange rate is pretty much the same. We're talking about 10, I think it's about 10 loti or maloti equals $1 currently. But initially these were equivalent to the Australian dollar, because before they issued these in 1979, they used South African currency, and South African currency is based on the British pound. So in 1960, they decimalised. 1 pound equals 2 rand. And then in 1979, they issued their own coins. So this was equivalent to 1 rand coin. So here we have the coat of arms of Lesotho. So we have, okay, so what we have is a crocodile on a Basotho shield. So that's the shield in the center. Then behind the shield we have 2 weapons, a sangi, and that's a lance. So that's the lance up to the pointed thing. And the other one is a club kieri. So that's the 2 type of weapons, and really I'd actually prefer to be killed by the lance than the actual club, because with a club you need to be bet to death. If a lance goes straight through, you can get killed quite instantly if they do it correctly. Okay, we have 2 Basotho horses on the side. In the foreground, ribbon, national motto, Kotso Pula Nala in Sesotho, and it means peace, reign, and prosperity. And the crocodile, now I'm not too sure if crocodiles actually exist in the country. It seems to be too far south. So that could be a fossilized crocodile that they have somewhere in the actual mountain range. Now, I'm not too familiar with the geology, even though I'm pretty interested in geology. It's just that, unlike coins, geology is a lot more complex and is a lot more time consuming to actually learn about the actual processes. Okay, so on the obverse of the coin, so this is the front. In English, we have the Kingdom of Lesotho. You have the monarch at the time. So, Moshoeshoe the second, 1979. Now I know I butchered his name. And he's wearing a military uniform. So he was monarch until, I think, 1989. Then he was overthrown, and then his son took over. But his son didn't overthrow him. It was the military that done that. Then in 1995, his son actually caused a stink and forced the government, well, he overthrew the government because he wanted his father to be reinstated. And he was monarch until 1996 when he passed away. Okay, so we do have two series of coins of this one. Okay, we have the earlier coins, which have the monarch, and these were issued up until 1989. So these ones. And then from 1992, they just issued the coat of arms. Now, the reason why, as I said just then, these were issued up until 1989 is because it was overthrown and it was no longer monarch. So then the government decided just to issue coins with the coat of arms. It's just simple than, using the monarch. So the monarch was... So these coins with the monarch only come in the... and this change with these coins only were with the 1, 2, 5 and the 10. 25, 50 and the 1, they didn't change until they issued the smaller coins. And even then, they didn't just change the actual obverse of the coin to the coat of arms. They changed the denomination from a 25 to a 20 centi. So that's and these are the current coins of Lesotho, but I'll look at those in another video. So all these mintages are actually quite high. So the population in 1980 of this country is about 1.3 million, but they only minted 500,000 of these 50 centi, and this is the smallest mintage that they actually issued of this coin. So really, the 1983, we don't have any mintages, could be higher. So really 1979, there wasn't enough of these coins in circulation to supplant the actual South African coins. And that goes with the rest of them. There just wasn't enough. So the later mintages had to have been quite a lot more high than what the 1979 ones were. But basically, what we have on these coins, so the 1 centi has a Lesotho hat. So now it looks a bit different. Looks a bit Vietnamese hat. But it probably has a lot of different colorations. And we have the 1983 and the 1992. So, and these would have circulated up until they actually reduced the size of the coin. Then we have the 2, which has a domesticated bull, and it's a male animal, so it's not a cow, although they are cows as well. And once again, these are all minted in the UK. So 1979 and 1992. I find the 1992 ones are actually harder to get than the 1979. And as you can see, all the 1979 that I'm showing are actually pretty uncirculated. Then we have the 5. Okay, so on Numis it says this is a single pine tree, but I don't think it's a pine tree. I think it's a succulent. So something probably related to aloe vera. And this is the actual flower branch. So it actually sends a stem up, which is pretty normal for cacti of this type, and here we have a lot of petals and the flowers. So that's to give it the most amount of coverage. This one's reeded, and this one is also 1979. So the 10 Licenti has an Angora goat. So probably not native to the actual country, but it's economically important. Once again, 1979. And the mintage figure for this coin is 2 million. So obviously, it shouldn't be too hard to get, but they are an expensive set. Okay, so the 25 has an agricultural theme. So obviously she's weeding, looks like weaving a basket. She's probably using the plants that are actually in front of you. And we have huts in the background. So this is a typical village in one of the high countries or mountain regions. And 1979 has a mintage of 1.2 million, so not really a scarce coin. So the 50 Licenti, as you can see, just has a person on a horseback. And obviously, it's a native individual in native costume or clothes they apparently wear. And 1979, 480,000. So obviously not enough issued for the population. 1983, Numista says it's like 61% of people who actually have this coin have this date. So it seems that this is the most common date you're going to get for this denomination, and in copper and nickel. So then we have the largest coin, the 1 Lotti. So this probably costs about $5 to $10 each. And they didn't issue this one with the 25 and the 50 Licenti with the coat of arms. All they done was in 1998, they just reduced the size of the actual coin. And they kept the coat of arms on this side, so its design's the same. And they put for the first monarch of the Lesotho's line on the back. So actually, no, this is the front of the coin and it's dated 1998. So this is the coin you're going to be using if you go to Lesotho, as well as South African coins, really. So basically, this is the entire coin set of Lesotho from 1979 to 1998, basically. Now, they're not as interesting as the Swaziland coins, because the Swaziland coins, they have different native animals and plants, but the more interesting thing is that they're also different sizes. But if you're interested in South African currency or African currency in general, yep, these are a coin set that you should endeavor to get, because they're a little bit harder to get. If you wanted to get this whole thing, you're probably paying at least $40. So anyway, hope this helps you for coin and banknote collecting. Thank you very much and have an awesome coin and banknote collecting time.